Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Annie Boon. And I hope I pronounced your name right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today, Caroline, and thanks for having me on. It's my first podcast, so thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you for saying yes. I'm so honored to be your first
Oh,
podcast appearance, and there will be many, many more, I'm sure about that. So, I want to introduce you to the audience, of course. You are a mindset and relationship coach dealing with infidelity. Your specialty is working with women who have fallen in the trap of being the other woman, and also the betrayed wives. You pride yourself on being highly confidential and non judgmental. No topic is too shameful to discuss with you because you heard it all. This is what I got from you. You are in streaming from South Africa, is that right? As well?
that's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
a
I'm
little
in
bit cold here
Germany.
tonight. And you're in Germany? Great.
Yes, it's amazing to connect the world through podcasts. And my first question is, what inspires you?
Okay, what inspires me is I think in the work that I do, a lot of the women I come across are in the depths of shame and despair. And what does inspire me is when I can actually see a change in a woman going from this dark place to a place of hope once again. And that for me, it inspires me to want to do the work even more. I just, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you explained this. And who inspires you? I think your clients inspire you. And also, do you have coaches or mentors for yourself?
Yeah. First and foremost, my mother inspires me. She is the epitome of empathy and non-judgment, and she is so resilient. What she's been through in her life, and she's 81 now, and she is this strong, confident, lovely, warm human being. So I think I've learned a lot from her. My coach inspires me. Her name's White Dove, and she's a very heart-centered coach. So she works well with my personality. And the most important thing that inspires me, or people, are my children. Um, they inspire me to be a better version of myself every day. And I think if we learn to see ourselves through our children's eyes, we'd learn a lot more about ourselves. So they're my biggest inspiration.
Oh, that's so true. So we don't have to look very far away. It's in our environment and they shape us, of course. They give us lessons to learn. I love what you said. I have two children as well. Yes, I know what you mean. So, how do you inspire other people?
I think I inspire them by leading by example. I have been through all these terrible situations in the triangle of infidelity, actually on both sides of the spectrum. And I could have just let myself go down a dark, spirally hole, get addicted to substances or whatever. And I managed to get my life back on track. And I've managed to, I'm very resilient. I've started right from scratch again. I lost everything, had to start from the bottom again. So, yeah, I want to be that light that inspires other people to know that doesn't matter how far down the track you've fallen or how bad things have gotten or what you think people think of you, because as a mistress, people think of you and talk about you. It really doesn't matter. You can get your life back on track.
Thank you so much for sharing. And you said you had to start all over again at zero or so. What would
Yeah.
you recommend for, especially, let's say, women, if they are in a similar situation, they have to start? What would be their first step?
Reach out for help.
Mhm.
I'm a very prideful person. I didn't want to ask for help, so it took much longer than it should have. I didn't realize there were other people that had maybe been through this as well that could guide me, could hold my hand. I thought everybody hated me. So I didn't know who to turn to, and I didn't know who to talk to. I mean, who do you talk to if you are on the wrong end of the spectrum of an affair? And yeah, eventually through two women who actually reached out to me and said, "Listen, let's help you," and they helped me, guided me, mentored me. and showed me that not everybody hates me and that, I'm a good person deep down inside. I had
Yeah.
forgotten I was a good person. Yeah.
Oh, I understand. And of course, you have to be open to it, to
Yeah.
accept help. You mentioned pride, of course, maybe
Yeah.
the ego as well,
Mm.
and our when we are lying to ourselves and saying everything is okay, but it's
Mm.
not, and we
And
know. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Caroline, the shame that a mistress carries, and as well as the betrayed wives, you wouldn't imagine how much shame a betrayed wife carries. And for a mistress, she takes what I call double shame, because not only has she done a shameful thing, but she's let her sisterhood down. So it's almost like this double shame she's carrying. For the betrayed wife, she carries shame like, how did she let this happen? Was she not good enough? So a core concept that I deal with is shame. We address the shame. We break the shame down. We get rid of the shame. That is the starting point, because the moment you're able to start talking, that shame starts to dissipate. So
Wow.
that's very important. Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know this, but I had a conversation recently with friend, let's say, and we talked about, she witnessed that her best friend was betrayed by the husband, and she
Yeah.
said even though she recognized it, it was the wife that didn't recognize it, and then came the question up: do we tell them? Because in Germany we say it's the wife that recognizes at last, right? I don't know how the saying
Yeah.
is.
The
Yeah.
wife is always the last to know. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
And how do you deal with that?
yeah, oftentimes the wife has already got a sense. And there are many women who would rather, not all women, many women will rather look the other way
Mhm.
because they have got more than enough. But that's the problem, enough. You mustn't be just enough. You mustn't be somebody's enough. And I think the starting point for a woman, if you know that your best friend's husband is messing around, it really can go either way, because I've had situations where a woman was told and she turned her back on her friends. She admitted she knew about it, but she didn't want it to become public knowledge. So she was even more ashamed. I've got other friends who said, why the hell didn't you tell me? So it's all personality based really as well. And I think as a good friend, just be there for her. Don't pass your own judgment on her behalf. Don't say, oh, he's a bastard, because 3 months down the line, they get back together, they start repairing their marriage, and now you're the problem. So you've got to be
Mm.
very gentle with how you handle this. Just be there for your friend. Yeah.
Yes. And I heard about, I was thinking a lot about the definition of friendship during the last time, because I'm going through changes as well. And then you, so to say, you lose friends. It
Yes.
seems like you lose friends, but it's not, they are dropping off
Mm,
because you don't need them anymore, of course,
yeah.
to fulfill your purpose. So I thought about, I came across this TikTok by Simon Sinek, I think, and
Yes.
he
Yes.
said, friendship is like sitting together in the mud with your friend when he's going
Mhm.
through some period. How would you define friendship?
I think again, it's all about support and understanding,
Mhm.
and it's more important to be empathetic. A lot of people know how to listen, but they don't really hear. You can sit there and go, uh-huh, uh-huh,
Yeah.
but you
Mhm.
must truly try and understand what your friend's saying. It's not an easy thing to do. We are all very quick to want to give out 10 cents worth of advice. It's always well meaning, but you don't know what the right advice is at the right time. So just be there for your friend. And the other thing that Simon Sinek said is, it's 8 minutes. He calls it the 8 minute. And you send your friend, he's got a code. You send your friend a message saying, have you got 8 minutes? And all that means is, I need you. I'm reaching out. Please call me. And maybe you get that sort of vibe going with your closer friends, saying, if any of us ever need to lean on each other, we don't need to explain ourselves. We just say, have you got 8 minutes? And I thought that's a beautiful idea, because you don't have to say, hey, can you talk? I've got a problem. Have you got 8 minutes? And the other
Mhm.
person immediately will phone you and say, what can I help you with?
Yeah,
And that
thank you.
opens the door for communication. Yeah.
Mhm. Wow, for sharing, because I remember this TikTok now too. You have it from YouTube, or another speech from Simon Sinek. You say he's amazing. He has this famous book. It all starts with why, I think. Yes, a great example as well. And you said you lead by example, and he's doing that too. And I
Yeah.
think what I feel is, when you ask your friends, "Do you have 8 minutes?" that often is already enough, if they confirm and say yes, and then you don't have to talk about the so-called problem anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're just
Mhm.
reaching out,
Mhm.
and even by doing that, your friends will start realizing, okay, something is up, even if you
Mhm.
don't want to tell them.
Mhm.
They'll start being more sensitive that something's going on in your life. It's just a little code word, to say, I need help, but I don't feel like talking about it. Um, yeah, I think it's a lovely idea that I want to maybe try and tie in with my work somehow. I haven't thought how without stealing Simon's idea, but I think it's a beautiful idea.
It
Mm.
is. Yeah, it is, because you can send prayers to the other person, or positive vibes, thoughts, and this is often enough. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing this with
Cool.
me as well. And my next question is, what are your gifts and talents, and especially the ones you use to help your clients, of course?
Okay. Well, the line of work I'm in, sense of humor, because yeah, people, I need a sense of humor to deal with this. Sometimes it can be very deep, and sometimes people can get, below the belt and make ugly comments and things. So I need my sense of humor to keep me afloat. Um, my gifts are, I'm very non judgmental. I pride myself on confidentiality. And basically, I'm one of those people, I'm the calm in the storm. And my family tell me that, like, I'm one of those, I can see trouble on the horizon. I see it before it comes. And I've got this lovely, for me, it's a talent that I can think on my feet. So as stuff is going down, I'm already thinking, what's my next move? How can I fix it? What can I do? And they jokingly call me 0800 Annie. If you've got a problem, who do you call? 0800 Annie, she'll know. It's just I can think on my feet fast, and I think that's also a perk in my role as a mentor for a mistress or anybody involved in an affair, because sometimes you don't have time to think. Stuff goes down and you need help now.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning. And also the 1-800 Annie. This is really amazing to have such a title. You have an answer, or like
Yeah.
a
Think
good word.
outside the box. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
wow. Thank you so much. And my next question is about goals. Do you set goals for yourself, or intentions? And what is one of your goals or projects for 2024?
My goals for 2024 is I want to get more people talking about the topic of infidelity. I want them to seek to understand more before they judge. And the only way I'm going to get that on a large scale is by doing podcasts, doing talks on stage. I would love to get a TED talk. So those are my goals. I'm working towards it. I've been talking to a woman who's going to help with coaching. So those are my goals, and I've got to work towards funding, towards getting to New York. Yeah, so I've got big dreams to be able to be the voice for the women, the mistresses, and the betrayed wives who have got nobody speaking on their behalf. I want to be their voice.
Wow, thank you so much. And what are your plans for when you are in New York?
I'm going to be joining together with a lady called Trisha Brooke.
Mhm.
She does do coaching to speak confidently on stage. I I am confident. But I think I need to learn the etiquette, and I tend to use bad language because of the industry I'm in, and I've got to tone all of that down. I haven't sworn once, I don't think yet.
Yeah.
um, but it's and also just moving in the right circles, networking, getting to the places where people will be able to see me and hear me. I really want to be the voice for these women.
Wow, I love that. To be the voice is so important for people that cannot speak yet. Let's say I was one of them, not for the reasons you mentioned, but in general, labeled as shy, introvert, first word. I don't know,
Introvert.
introvert. Yes, introvert, the word was correct. I thought there was something coming after that word. So I began 2 years ago to speak, and my podcast was created in December, just
Wow.
recently in December. So this is my journey, and it fits to your goals and dreams as well. So we are on similar
Thank you.
path. Help women, empowering them. Thank you so much. I have one last question for you. And it is, when people reach out to you, and they will, and please reach out to Annie. She's so amazing with her knowledge and wisdom she shares. Do you have special offers or services for the Inspired podcast community?
I do. I have got a downloadable worksheet that they'll find on my website. And it is basically a pain versus pleasure worksheet, because everyone's either motivated by pain or pleasure. So when you're stuck in your little dark hole, what is motivating you to stay there? And this will help you. It's a short little worksheet. And in addition to that, I want to offer the first 3 women that reach out to me via email, I'm going to give them a one-on-one session. It's called my Stay or Go session. And it literally is just a brain dump. You can pour your heart out and weigh up the pros and cons. So the first 3 people who reach out to me on email, I'll give them a 1-hour session of Stay or Go.
Oh, thank you so much. This is generous of you. Thank you. And it is exciting. Please reach out, grab your free session. I think it's worth it. And also the title, Stay or Go session. How inspiring is this? Thank you so much. Now it's time for your last message to the audience, please.
I think most importantly, people need to, women, you need to realize you're not alone. I've walked this path. I've survived it. I'm here for you. But more important than that, I made a decision 2 years ago that I'm going to spend the rest of my life just making broken people feel less broken. I'm here for you.
Thank you so much. This was amazing. And
Thank
see
you.
you. Thank
And I love
you.
your podcast, and I love the inspired. That's what I loved about this. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It came by intuition. And yeah, and see you in the next episode.